Welcome to T-Boys TV. We're back again with another Premier League review. And back to back. We've got Hanno on the channel. How are you, mate?
Yes.
For this review, anyway.
I'm good, mate. I'm
good,
good.
Mate.
Yeah,
and obviously, last time we done this, obviously a lot of games got called off. But obviously, these whole games, every team played this weekend. So that was that. We'll go through some comments. Well, we've only got one comment, but we'll big him up. Chris, big up yourself, mate. Obviously, on last time, a lot of the people enjoyed you being on, and obviously, like you said, if you weren't working later, then you'd have come on this as well. Oh, for God's sake! Says, shouldn't Hanno be at school? Just messing. I know you've got any response to that.
School next week. On holiday.
There you go. But yeah, let's get into it. Oh, Hanno's trying to get me a copyright out here, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Early on.
Yeah.
But no, obviously, we'll try not to do it as long as we did last time, especially, me going to the game later, but I'm sure it won't be that long this time. But obviously the first game, North London derby, obviously it ended up being a 3-1 to Tottenham, the only game of the Premier League that I got spot on this weekend. Did not have a great weekend whatsoever. But I just knew it'd be this sort of game, especially with it being at the Emirates. Tottenham have won once there in 29 years in the league. And, it was just always going to be like this. Arsenal, I remember last year it was a similar situation, where not where Arsenal were top of the league and doing as well as they have been, but just the fact where Tottenham felt they could have got something in the game last season, and the same thing happened. It's 3-1 as well, and anytime they're at home, against Tottenham, they win. They tend to win. What usually happens in this derby is a team that tends to be at home, tends to win the games. That's how it's been a lot in recent years. I wouldn't be surprised in a reverse fixture, depending on how obviously Arsenal are doing by then, and obviously Tottenham, but more Arsenal because obviously there's top league and that sort of thing. I'll probably see Tottenham winning that game. It's just one of them. Because the crowd's always on it, of course, because obviously the magnitude of the game. But obviously I did a watch along, as you lot know. Obviously, unfortunately, the Arsenal fan didn't turn up. That would have been good, seeing Adam get trolled even more. That would have been class. And I was saying, we had a group chat, preparing for it. And I was saying to him, it's going to be 3-1. I said it to Adam all night. He was like, nah, we're going to do it this time. I was like, no, you're not. It's going to be 3-1. I'm not even saying it to wind you up. And obviously, that's what turned out, to be. Obviously, Thomas Partey with the opening goal. I've said it, if him, Jesus or Ramsdale, one of them get injured in that position, their positions, then they're screwed. And, you can tell, they needed, Thomas Partey in this game, because also look at, how Xhaka's been performing. He's been performing well, and that's because Thomas Partey's alongside him. But what a goal it was by Partey. I've seen him since he's been at Arsenal. As much as he's very injury prone, I've seen him score some very good goals for him. And that was another brilliant goal. And then shortly after, obviously, Tottenham got the penalty. Very silly penalty by Gabriel to give away, I felt. And Harry Kane, to be fair, he took it well, which he tends to do most of the time. The only time, recently, obviously, where he missed a penalty that I can think of was obviously against Nottingham Forest. But other than that, he tends to bury him, and it was a good penalty down the middle here. Obviously, Ramsdale went towards the other side. And then, obviously, it was 1-1. And, it's similar to what I said in the build-up to this game as well. I said I can see it being a 1-1. I did say I think Tottenham will score first, I think. But then I can see Arsenal getting goals a bit later on. And that was pretty much what happened, even though there were early goals in the second half. It's similar in that sort of scenario. And obviously, Jesus got a goal. Terrible defending by Tottenham. It was like FIFA defending. I don't know what was going on between Lloris and... I can't actually remember who it was. Was it Royale? I think it might have been Royale. I can't quite remember. But in the first half, I think Royale was all right. And then obviously he got that red card. I see a lot of people say it's not. Hanno, where do you stand on it? Do you think that was a red card?
I get people saying you wanted to clear the ball, but when you go surge up into someone's back leg, ankle area, if I do that to you, aren't you going to punch me? Like, you're going to want to eat me. So it should be a red card.
No, exactly. No, I totally agree with you. And I'm not even going to go on for why I think, because it's the exact same reasons. Studs are up, like you said, at the end of the day. And it's a dangerous tackle. We'll get into one of the games, in a bit where there was another dangerous tackle. And obviously that was the Fulham game. It's similar in that scenario where, it's the same sort of way they've gone in. Obviously, it's a different position where they've got off the body, but it's similar in that aspect. So, yeah, for me, it definitely is. I agree with that. And then obviously Tottenham went down to 10 men, and that gave Arsenal more of an advantage. And obviously Xhaka got a goal. Like I said, good performance from him. He tends to play well a lot this season when he's alongside Partey. For me, I'm interested to see. Even though we sort of saw it against United, but then again, Arsenal don't do great away at United. I want to see what it's like if Partey is injured, which is going to be most likely at some point, because it always happens to him. And I want to see how Xhaka does then against, not even against one, just anyone really at home. It'd be interesting. Obviously, I'm not wishing injuries on players because I don't do that, but just for that situation, it'd be interesting to see how he does. See if he can live up to what he has lived up to for most of the season so far. Obviously, he got a goal. Like I said, very well taken goal. Martinelli, another good performance for Arsenal, a player I do rate. So yeah, there with that. And it was getting to that stage where I remember the remaining 15 minutes. I was saying on the watch long, can Arsenal potentially get another? I had a feeling they was going to. Obviously, I wanted it to hold out for the 3-1 because that's what I said. And the only closest chance they had really, it's just because they kept putting pressure, but the only good chance they had after that goal, I'd say, was that Tierney chance. Good to see him back for Arsenal. He's a player I do rate as well. And it was, a decent save by Lloris. It's a save he should be making because, Lloris he's a good keeper. Even though he has his mistakes in him nowadays, he's still up there. But yeah, Tottenham, they couldn't deal with that press. And, they haven't played no one like that this season, that does the press that Arsenal do. That's another reason I felt they were going to lose the game as well. I don't think I mentioned it in the preview, but that's what I've got to say about that. Hanno, mate, is there any additional things you'd like to add to that?
Basically, Tottenham disappointed me again. Why? Come on. But yeah, just like basically, just Tottenham. Conte got it wrong. He set them so Arsenal could just easily avoid the first phase of the press. And then it was just easy. Xhaka goes in the pockets alongside Odegaard, or then Zinchenko dropping in midfield. Mm-hmm. And but Arsenal, they're doing good. I put up a poll on my Instagram. Should also be taken seriously now. Beating a top 6 team, of course, it was with Tottenham at the Emirates. They beat them Wednesday. But yeah, I think I'll put a bit more of respect on Arsenal's name. They're starting to look more and more good. So yeah, and it was just my dog that came in. That's why the door opened. So yeah.
Well, at least it weren't a ghost. You know what I mean? That's what I will say.
yeah. But yeah, Tottenham, they need to improve. Unfortunately for them, Basuma was injured, so they couldn't go with a 3-man in midfield, which is a bit disappointing, and one of the reasons why they lost. But yeah, Conte needs to fix it up really quick. But as everyone says, it's the history of the Tottenham.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. But we'll go through some comments. Big up Stephen, he says, afternoon tide, big up yourself, mate. Chris said, I've said 2-1 Arsenal, as Arsenal have Spurs number at Emirates while Spurs have... exactly like I said, mate. in this derby, it tends to be the home team tends to win. That's what you see majority of the years gone by, because that crowd, it's different. Whoever's the home team, the crowd's is different. To be honest, Arsenal look good. No, absolutely. Chris says, Granit Xhaka, my man of the match for me, can argue deserves to be in team of the season so far. No, if there was a car crash, Xhaka was driving the car, but you see what he brings, leadership and aggression. No, absolutely. Like I said, I am interested to see, because let's be real, Partey probably will get injured again. Since he's been at Arsenal, he gets injured left, right and centre. I'm interested to see how he would do then. Even if it's, I don't know, whoever it is, I'm just interested to see. Big up British chap says, who's this geezer? Yellow card for me, at best. He didn't mean to do it with intent. If he does it with intent, a definite red, but the studs are up anyway. Yeah, exactly. His studs are up anyway, and that's where I see it. It's red, but not intent. Yeah, no, I agree with that. But if they're up, they're up. Do you know what I mean? That's how I see it. Martinelli was holding his head, even though studs was in ankle area. It makes sense. Yeah, a lot of players do this sort of thing. Funny how once red was given, he's okay all of a sudden. Yeah, it is annoying when players do that, but yeah, it's one of them. My point still stands on Arsenal. Clip this up. They'll be fucked after the World Cup. All their players will go to World Cup and they don't have squad depth to play Thursday, Sunday. It will be interesting. Yeah, that's for sure. Tottenham aim is top 4 finish, in my opinion, and we win League Cup potentially. I totally agree with that, mate. Definitely. Kenny says, hate the title, Tyler. I'm just being honest. North London's red. Manchester is blue right now. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how it is. Big up Wolf. He says, hey, everyone. Stupid challenge. Exactly, Kenny, mate. And then obviously Wolf, heavily saying Ten Hag out on the stream the other day already. Wow. Yeah, he was not happy, mate. He was not happy. But we'll move on to the next game, which I already knew it was this flipping game because I remember the order I'd done it in. Obviously, I did watch it. I watched it with my mate, Charlie, who was obviously on a few of the streams the other day. And flipping hell, he literally went up to go to the toilet when it was 3-2, come back down, and they scored. I was like, oh, my God, mate, are you a curse or something? I'll pick up to him, but it just felt like that. But yeah, not good enough defensively yet again. Shout out Trossard. Obviously, not a lot of people tend to get hat tricks at Anfield, and obviously he's done that. He's a quality player. I've said that for ages. But just poor defending. Trent yet again. Klopp's come out and said, I tell him to push that high up. What, and you tell him to jog back, do you? Because that's what I keep seeing of this guy. It's just getting ridiculous now. Honestly, it's getting ridiculous. I think it happened on the first and third goal when as soon as this got past him, he just started jogging. Not even jogging, sorry, like walking. It's just like, what are you doing? Obviously Brighton took the 2-0 lead. I did think as soon as we got that first goal, Firmino, he had a very good game, by the way. A lot of people criticising Firmino, a lot of Liverpool fans, and he's the only striker actually turning up really at the moment. You could say Diaz, but obviously didn't start this game. And Firmino scoring the goals at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So, obviously Salah completely fluffed the shot. And then obviously, it went towards Firmino. He tapped it in really, done what he had to there. And, I did have the feeling we were going to bring it back, just for the simple fact, despite how we've been, just the fact that it's at Anfield, lost there since 2017. So I knew we was going to at least bring it back level. Obviously, Firmino got a goal. What a goal, by the way. The lovely bit of skill and the finish, brilliant by him. Made some changes, obviously brung on Diaz for Carvalho. And, obviously they got the own goal. I don't know what their keeper was doing, though. Sanchez. I don't know why he coming out like that. And then, obviously, it came off Webster's own goal. And then, obviously, poor defending yet again. Trent. This guy. It weren't just Trent that was poor defensively. The whole defence was. But I'm just getting sick of this guy just jogging. Not even jogging half the time. Jogging, walking. It's becoming a joke now, to be quite honest with you. And then, obviously, they got the goal. To make it 3-3. And yeah, it was just disappointing. Like I said, the attack weren't really on it. The lineup, I don't really understand it, to be honest with you, when I saw it. Obviously, it's the back five, if you include Allison, that I went with. And, I understand Henderson, despite him not being overly great this season, fair enough. But the front, the front, I don't know. I don't know if he should have put Carvalho where he did. I would have started Diaz instead. Other than that, I understand because obviously, Nunes and Jota, just coming back and that. But Diaz has been good. As much as he hasn't scored, he's been good. And I don't even know. Has Carvalho even played left wing? I don't know. Not for us, he hasn't. But in general, I don't know. I just didn't really understand that. I like the guy. He's a very good player. But I just wouldn't have started it, especially not there anyway. And yeah, it just weren't good enough yet again. But credit to Brighton. I knew it'd be a very tough game. I did say a 1-0. Obviously, nowhere near on score prediction. But they drew last season to us at Anfield, and they've done it again. And good side. Obviously, new manager bounce as well, you could say. And they were good. Just Liverpool were just poor yet again. To be quite honest, with you. But Hanno, mate, is there anything you want to
add? I just want to know. I know Klopp says I tell him to do that, but it worked a few years ago because Jordan Anderson still had the legs to help out and cover that right back spot, right midfield spot if Trent goes up. Henderson doesn't have the legs anymore. And to cover that spot and go over and cover it. So, and that's a big thing why Liverpool are doing so bad. And even Trent Chalky, I think the more the games are going on, the more Klopp is losing discretion because these players are in playing home. So look, there's no way Salah can drop so far down from what level he is. Like last season, he was at one of the highest levels. Now he's been what? That's he's been at it.
Well, I just don't get why they're trying to play him how they are. It's not benefiting him. They say it's going to benefit like Nunes and all the other strikers. It's benefit. Well, I wouldn't even say it's benefiting Firmino. Firmino's just proving a point that he's not. A lot of Liverpool fans say get rid of him. I think he's good as another option, to be quite honest with you, and he's showing it at the moment. He's the only guy scoring goals in that attack anyway. So, yeah, it just annoys me. And, what? Salah's still the best attacker out of the lot that we have. Why are you trying to play in a way that's going to benefit others instead of him? I don't understand it. It doesn't make no sense to me, whatsoever.
That's like United.
Yeah, and also, just quickly before you say what you're going to say, I get what you're saying about Henderson. I definitely get what you're saying, and I said about starting Harvey Elliott. Why is he just not playing all of a sudden? He's deserved to keep his place. He hasn't really put a foot wrong. He's been one of the best players this season. I don't understand it, but carry on what you were saying, mate.
Yeah, on what you said Salah not the way playing like. You guys are not playing to him. For him. It's like United did mostly last season. They didn't play to him. They didn't make him like the focal point of the attack. And that's what you guys are doing with Salah. Just not letting him be the focal point. But yeah, just I expected Brighton to. I said Brighton would win. I told Liverpool fans they would win, and I just wish they won because that would have made the weekend so perfect. Liverpool losing, United losing, Tottenham losing. If Arsenal and Tottenham just drew that, or if both could have lost, that would have been perfect. But yeah, also Tottenham lost it. If Liverpool lost, that would have been the perfect weekend, but they didn't. So yeah, um, yeah, Liverpool, their struggles continue alongside Chelsea's struggles. Yeah, is it time for club to go potentially? It's
If it carries on, yeah, I want to try and obviously back it for as long as possible. But if it carries on how it is, the thing is, like I said, I don't think Liverpool will sack him. I think he'll walk, and I think the players will start. Their heads will start to turn. Like you said, it definitely slightly is. I reckon because, like you said, they're not playing for him. They're not playing for him. And the thing about Liverpool that winds me up when it comes to transfer business, right? Look at Man City. Look at what they've done, right? They've changed. They changed their team up completely. They had Aguero. Obviously, he went. Then they had Jesus, who wasn't obviously that level, but they replaced him with him. And then obviously now they got Haaland. Liverpool just keeping the same sort of players, doing like one or two changes. You need to do more in a title race because teams will start to. I've said it for ages. I've said it on streams way back. Teams will start to know what you're doing, what your approach is. Yeah, there's good getting extra numbers in and that sort of thing, but you need to change it up even more. All these people are sitting and go, you ain't got no money. What do you mean? One of the biggest clubs in the world. What do you mean we got no money? Seriously. It's not like we haven't won trophies for ages as well. You get decent money for, winning the FA Cup and that, I'm pretty sure. And Champions League a couple of years ago, Premier League. Like, don't give me that nonsense. Seriously.
Okay. I think maybe if Liverpool didn't win the FA Cup and Carabao Cup on penalties against us, would Klopp have been sacked? Or maybe would have he walked earlier? Potentially.
Yeah, potentially, mate. Potentially.
Would you blame Klopp if he left?
If it just kept not working out like it currently is, then no, I wouldn't. Because, obviously I'm disappointed with all this nonsense that he keeps coming out with. But at the end of the day, I don't want that relationship with the club to fall out because he has actually done so much for this club. Like, let's be real, he's given us our first Premier League title for the first time in 30 years and that sort of thing. But at the same time, I look at it and go, like, if it's not working out, then yeah, he's no. If he walked, I wouldn't blame him. Like, especially if things carry on how they are. Do you know what I mean? That's for sure. Okay. And it is the 7th season, thing that he has. So that doesn't really give me confidence as well. But we'll see. We'll see. But I said it since the start of the season, Liverpool will not win the title. And it links to what I said. With not bringing, it's just obvious. They've still got the same sort of players. They're aging as well. Mane obviously going to massive miss. And Man City, like I said, they literally won the league without a out-and-out striker. Now they got Haaland to add to that. And even Alvarez as a backup. Or even a starter alongside him some games. Not a lot of games, but some. And even, defensively as well, they've got that player from Dortmund, another option at the back. They've already got Stones, they've already got Laporte, they've already got Diaz. Do you know what I mean? And it just annoys me. It really does. And people come out with these stupid excuses, we don't have money. Whatever. But there we go. We're going to go through some comments. We need to be scouts. Don't forget, Tyler. Oh, yeah. I see that. A Liverpool fan on TikTok was talking about the game and the amount of comments I said, oh, nice Scouse accent. Shut up, mate. Shut up. The thing that annoys me, no one says it about any other club. No one says, unless it's United. Some people say about United. But other than that, no one says it about anyone else. It winds me the hell up, But there we go. Brighton should have won. Yeah, man. It's one of them. Stephen says, Brighton looked good. Trossard was due to some lucky hour. It wasn't at half-time. Yeah, it's just disappointing defensively.
Please just bring Trossard to the bridge. Come on, Harry Potter.
Let's not let these clowns pull the cotton wool our eyes. Trent Van Dijk need dropped. Embarrassing. Facts. Van Dijk needs to be dropped as well. He's not even I'll put it out there. He's not even, especially on form, he's not even our best defender. Matip is, yeah. I've been saying that for ages. On form, even overall, I think Matip's very underestimated. And the reason why he didn't have this sort of talking about him like he did, like he does now, is because he used to get injured a lot. He doesn't really tend to get injured often now. So I honestly, I'd start playing when Konate's. Was he back on the bench? I can't even remember. No, he wasn't, but I know he's close to coming back. I would start them two, honestly. And we've seen it a few times when they played together. They've been all right. It annoys me. And I thought with Van Dijk, even though the international break, it was only Nations League games and that sort of thing, he seemed like that game he had for Holland, it seemed like he was raring to go again. But it's just, I don't know what's going on. He just doesn't, he's not, putting that foot in. It's just static at times and it just winds me up. It's like, what are you doing, mate? Seriously. And then obviously Kenny and Wolf having a little bit of an argument about United there. Everyone that's to blame for our downfall players. Klopp, FSG, whole lot of them needs. Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. 100%. No, nowhere near, mate. Nowhere near whatsoever. Trent is not a fullback. He's creative midfielder. It's been exposed this season. We've overhyped him as a fullback. Yep, no, I agree. There's been, bits where, slow bits where one-on-one he's been all right. But other than that, it's just, as soon as the ball gets past him, he just doesn't do anything. He doesn't try and track back or anything, especially this season anyway. I think it needs to get to a stage where Liverpool needs to play a different formation. Because like I said, it's getting obvious now. It's getting obvious. I'd play a formation similar to what Luton played, to be fair. 5-3-2, honestly.
3 at the back, copying the old Chelsea.
I would, yeah, no, honestly. I don't know if you lot agree, but, it's start that. Like I said, it's getting obvious either way. Firmino links up our front three, exactly. Firmino brings more to the game than a lot of people think. All right, don't bring the goals, but he actually brings more link up and that sort of thing than people think. Trent, and he's bringing the goals at the moment anyway. Trent, Van Dijk, Fabinho, Salah all need dropped. They've been crap. Yeah, the only one I would say there is Fabinho. Who would you play instead of him? Would you put Henderson as like the CDM? Because that's the only thing. But the others, definitely. The annoying thing is, I don't think Calvin Ramsey's still not back, is he? That's the annoying thing. But then again, you can put Gomez there, who doesn't tend to do too bad there, or even Milner. If Milner starts, right, and he plays right back, I wouldn't mind that as much. Obviously, I'd still be like, but I wouldn't mind it as much as him starting in midfield because, yeah, he just hasn't got the legs anymore. I'm sorry, he just doesn't. But as a right back, he can put in a shift, and he obviously don't have to control the middle of the pitch. That's what I will say about that. And Salah, yeah, like I said, lucky that Firmino got onto that end of the first goal, honestly. Oh, yeah, you reckon he shot as a DM? Fair enough, then. Fair enough. I haven't got much legs for centre mid. Yeah, fair enough. That's fair enough, then. Yeah, it doesn't make no sense, does it? It doesn't make no sense whatsoever. No, exactly. No, exactly, mate. Exactly. Yeah, that could happen again. Like I said, I don't think Liverpool sack him. Just for what he's done. I think he'll walk. I think he'll have enough of it. Same scenario. Who said you have no money means the owners won't sanction the funds. It's just well, I still don't rate FSG. There's people that have turned and gone, yeah, I like him now. Yeah, whatever, mate. Still like him now. Liverpool got money. People are living outside their minds. So I'd say Klopp or FSG too stubborn. Probably both, mate. Probably a bit of both. Yeah, exactly. I know a lot of people that did. If Van Dijk bothered about World Cup, fine, you go there. Facts. So yeah, there you go. There you go. I prefer Gomez at right back. He's better than centre back. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. And then Kenny and Wolf still going at it, flipping hell. And Kenny said, "Who do you reckon's winning?" I don't know. I'm not really looking at it, to be fair. I'm going to be honest. Moving on to the next game, which very surprising game. My score prediction, I think I said 1-1. Yeah, I think I said 1-1 for this game. Just due to the fact, Fulham was still unbeaten at home. They had a very good start to the season. They still have, despite this result. There was a lot of people starting to question Eddie Howe on the Newcastle end, or even neutrals, to be quite honest with you. And, I think he's shut up shop with this result. Very dominant display. Obviously, the red card was probably the turning point, or in fact, it was very silly tackle to give away. Very stupid, especially how early on it was as well by Chalobah. And obviously, that was the turning point, like I said. Callum Wilson got the first goal. Almiron's second goal. Boy, oh boy. When I was watching the Liverpool game, it was actually pretty sick what I was watching it on. It had, obviously, if you saw my socials, it had the table as it stands with all the games. And then on the bottom bit, it had all the scores. And then if something happened in one of the other games, it would show it. And they showed the Almiron goal. Flipping hell. Me and my mate went, what? Like, we know he's a good player, but, even he was surprised when that went in. Obviously, Almiron I'm talking about. And what a goal that was. Obviously, keeper had no chance. And then obviously they scored again just before our time. Longstaff 3-0, in the first half. And very, very poor, from Fulham. And then obviously Mitrovic had to come off because he was injured as well. He got injured. I don't think it's too bad from what I'm hearing from Fulham fans, because I do actually know a few Fulham fans. Obviously, when Luton played him last season. But yeah, obviously that happened. Then going into the second half, Almiron scored again, just in the right place at the right time, really, was one of these goals. And then the only bit that Fulham could cheer about the whole game was obviously the goal they got at the end. Reed, decent goal, but obviously it's a constellation, It was one of them. But Hanno, mate, what did you make of this game? Flipping hell, very unexpected.
Fulham. I'm never ever going to say Fulham are going to win ever again, because when I predict, most of the time when I say they're going to win, they lose. This is one of the
Start
first
me with
times.
Southampton, mate, and Chris.
No, don't let me start on Southampton. I predict a draw, and they are.
Well, we got to go to them in a bit, mate. We got to go to St Mary's.
Okay.
In fact, I think it's next. But yeah.
Yeah. No, well done to Newcastle. They did well for once. When I predict them to lose, they win. Come on, really? Just lose. If you're going to lose, lose. No, I think there's a few teams. The international break was good for. Newcastle is one of those teams. Maybe even Palace. You can see, and yeah, even Brighton. It was a good thing for Brighton losing, and for Chelsea, of course, bottom. I think better of time to learn some of the other players that weren't called up. Yeah, but Kenny and Wolf, you guys. Wolf, I get your point, but really, Pochettino's replacement. Come on, please, no. What? No, that's just not make sense unless you really rate him. Was it a red card?
I think it was. Like I said, I think it's similar in the fact, obviously not where it's landed body-wise, but I just think, the way he's went in, how dangerous it could have actually ended up, being, I would say it was.
Yeah. It probably is, but when you look at real time, it doesn't look. But when you slow it down, it's definitely a red card. But yeah, Wolf and Kenny, just chill out. Just chill. United are
No,
still
I
my
mean
fans.
carry on if you want, because you are actually and I'm not even sounding salty. Like you actually, if you say what you want to say, but it's actually sort of helping the stream out. I'm not going to lie. It obviously gets it out there because the comments left, right,
Continue. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah, exactly.
Continue. Yeah, continue.
Exactly. No, exactly that, mate. But yeah, anything else you want to say about this game?
And Amram, well done. What's Ideal on getting his revenge on us after we didn't know who he was managing. So,
Yeah, I can't believe we had that stinker. That was shocking. That was actually shocking. Dear.
That was absolutely shocking. But well done, Newcastle. Unlucky Fulham.
Yeah, I don't think this is where Fulham drop off. I think that's carry on doing well. I'm not sure who the next game is, but yeah, I just think at the same time Newcastle needed to prove a point, especially Eddie Howe. And yeah, that's what they did. I said Geordies to end the record 3-1, just one out, but the red was a talking point that changes the outcome. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Flipping hell, it's mad. Red card by Fulham is why it ended that scoreline. No, absolutely. Obviously, it's a turning point. But yeah, we'll move on to the next game, which was, see, I told you, I thought it was the Southampton game. Annoying here. I said 2-1 Southampton, and the last two games I've predicted them to win 2-1, and they've lost both of them. They're one of them teams for me and Chris. We predict them to win, they lose. We always say it. I'm not going to say it again, but yeah. What I will say, Pickford being back for Everton was obviously massive. But let's talk about the game. From the start to the ending. Obviously, in the first half, there's a few chances, but obviously no goals. And then quite early on, 49th minute, of the second half, Rebo got a goal. Very well taken goal, and obviously that took Southampton in the lead. And then shortly after, Connor Cody, this goal counted this time, unlike the one against Liverpool. It was good, pass over to him by Onana, I think it was. A good finish by him, just tapped it in first time. And he's been dangerous on these set pieces, and he's been a really good signing so far for Everton, I have to be honest. Even defensively, he's done a really good job there as well. And obviously that made it 1-1. And then literally 2 minutes after, McNeil, this game was going crazy on the 3 o'clock. It kept showing this game, and I was like, got to say, Everton are winning. McNeil, very good goal by him. That's his first goal for Everton as well. And what a first goal it was. Like I always say, when players get first goal for clubs, it tends to be memorable goals. And this was a pretty good strike. And obviously this won Everton the game as well. Very good goal from him. And I suppose the other talking point really is that Pickford save at the end. Very good save by him. I can't remember his shot. But like I said, Pickford being back was massive. Also for his leadership. He's proper. I remember Southampton had another chance at the end, actually. I think it dipped just over. And he was proper shouting at the defence, like flipping hell. It was crazy. But that's what they needed at the back, They needed him to be back. And he is on good form at the moment. And at the moment he's showing why he believes he's the number one choice for England. That's all I've really got to say about that one. Hanno? Your anything you want to say about this one?
Everton. United, it's not going to be easy with Everton. One of the best defenses in the league, not like stats-wise, not if you look at the players, but I thought they were going to draw. I thought this was going to be a boring game. But so Everton finally learned how to score goals. I don't know what they did, but they learned how to score goals. And Southampton, they're a tricky team. You think, okay, probably won't score then they score. You probably think they will score, then they don't score. They on and off, but yeah. Good results for Everton. Nothing really else happened in this game, but happy for McNeil for his goal. Yeah, just he's one of those players. If he just goes to a bit of a bigger club than Everton, maybe Everton and Burnley, maybe even a Newcastle, maybe he will get recognition, or maybe even a Brighton, then you do good. But yeah, um, yeah. Well, that's all I have to say.
Fair enough, mate. No, fair enough. Definitely understand what you're saying. Big up Blue Terrier. He says hello. Big up yourself, mate. Everton, top of the bottom half, are looking. I think he meant to say, decent. Very good to win after going behind Cody. Why Wolves let him go? No, it doesn't make sense to me. You know, their skipper as well. We'll obviously get into Wolves with their game this weekend. Obviously, what happened after that game regarding manager and that sort of thing. Chris says Everton, one of winners of summer window for me. They'll be winners if they sign proper proven goal scorer. They'll be fine this season. Solid signings defensive in midfield. Yep, that is why I said they'd stay up as well, especially defensively, and made some good signings. You know, Tarkowski. Obviously, this was before they brought in Connor Cody as well. You know, and I think as much as McNeil didn't really have great, you know, I'm not really a stat person, but you know, weren't scoring a lot at Burnley. You know, I think for Everton he'll do well, especially as another option. Obviously, it got him more pay as well, which a lot of people were surprised he went there, including myself, especially from Brighton. But I don't know if it's more money that, you know, it could have been that. But, you know, he'll do all right for him as well. And they needed to get someone in, of course, with obviously Richard Charlison going to Tottenham. Everton least goals conceded in the league. Yeah, like I said, defensively they'll be sound, and I think that's the main reason they stay up. And obviously, you know, because you need that. You can't be leaking goals like other teams are. Forest. But yeah, there we go. We'll move on to the next game, which there you go, Hanno, mate. Obviously, your team, Chelsea, you know, they got the 3 points, weren't too convincing. But talk to me, mate. Talk to me about the game.
So the game starts. Chelsea sloppy starts. We give away the ball, and then as soon as the commentators basically just say they shouldn't give the ball away in the final third, they do. Farner with a sloppy pass, and they switch it wide. Great ball from, I think, Jordan Ayew. The bounce for Farner, he should do better, but he doesn't do better. And they score. So Kepa, and after that, Crystal Palace, a few attacks. Kepa made some good saves, and then after that, Chelsea just went on a rampage. Mount missed an absolute. He should have scored there. They put it. It was literally in line with the post. He just should have put it in the top corner, easy. And then Sterling, had a few chances. He maybe should have shot earlier. He needs to work on his decision making at the end of the day. And Reece James, of course, locking down Zaha, making him switch sides. Funny to see what they just said on Twitter and Instagram. So Chelsea, it wasn't the best performance, but we're grinding out results. That's the main thing. We're doing the same. We're in the same position as Liverpool, but we're just getting results. Getting results and winning, because we're also not good. I will admit it. We're not the best performance and anything. Conor Gallagher, wonderful strike. Aubameyang, that finish is I scored.
Good goal, wasn't it? Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that on the
but
3 o'clock.
if he missed that, it was if he missed that shot, it was that's right in the um, bottom corner. If he missed that, that would have been so big. But yeah, Conor Gallagher, I need more of the same. Mount, he has to be dropped now. Um, I just worry because Potter is going with this 4 at the back and wants to be playing more attacking football, but I just fear you look Thiago Silva in a back 4. You need to cover a lot more than in the back 3. And I'm really scared he gets injured going into this game. But yeah, Chelsea got to win. That's all I care about. I know Wolf doesn't like Chelsea. I don't like United. So yeah, they can go on, continue talk about my manager Tuchel, and yeah, Tuchel hopefully gets a job. I don't want him to go to United because it would transform them or Liverpool. It would just do them madness. But yeah, good result, Chelsea. Not the best performance, but we need to beat Palace. If we didn't beat Palace, I said 1-1. It was close, but yeah.
I said one. What did I say? 1-0 Chelsea. I said 1-0 Chelsea.
Yeah. I had a horrible week in predictions. I got 1 point, and that was just a City game.
I think I only got 6, mate. So yeah, I didn't do too great either.
But,
But my thoughts on it before I go into some comments. Like Hanno said, not the best performance, but they grinded out, the result. I do think Thiago Silva got away with one though. That's what I will say. His experience coming into clutch with what he did, but
we don't talk about Thiago Silva, mate. That was clean.
Well, his experience coming clutch, but he did get away with one there, didn't he? But like you said, both the goals you got very good goals, especially. Well, to be fair, both of them were as good as each other. But the Aubameyang one on the turn, very good goal. And Palace obviously took the lead. Decent ball into the box. Not great defensively, but you come back and grinded out the result. I'm not going to say too much because you've summed it up well. So yeah, that's what I've got to say about it. Very lucky Palace took it to them and took the lead, but Palace couldn't find a second and sit back at times, and that invite Chelsea. Yeah, true, very true. Always good to get out of Palace with a win. Dangerous place to go. No, absolutely. Selhurst Park. It's a very tough place to go. So yeah, no, absolutely. If Klopp did leave, I would take Tuchel at Liverpool twice on a Sunday. None of this Linda's Gerrard BS. Yeah, the Gerrard stuff just it's too much. He still needs to prove himself. I know he's a Liverpool legend and that, but that's as a player. Do you know what I mean? We haven't seen it much as a manager, and Linda's definitely not now. With the way he's come out. I ain't read his book, but I've just heard bits of it, and the Salah thing. He's the main guy who said about doing that. So absolutely not, mate. Who cares about performance, scoreline, all that matters? Who cares about anything else? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what I've got to say about that and what Hanno's got to say. Moving on to the next game, 0-0. This was one of the 2 0-0 games this weekend. Obviously, Bournemouth at home against Brentford. For me, Bournemouth were unlucky not to win. I don't understand how that was not a penalty. I don't see where the players won the ball whatsoever. They went to the screen as well. That's the worst thing. And they said that weren't a penalty. I couldn't believe it. Actually could not believe it. Obviously, they showed, bits, like I said, on the 3 o'clock. They showed this. And I was looking at my mate going, how's that not a penalty? Honestly, I didn't understand it. My score for this game, I got a point. But I did say a 2-2. I thought it was going to be a lot of goals to it. But obviously, Bournemouth still unbeaten since, what's his name? I can't remember who then, O'Neill, or I can't remember what his name is. But yeah, since he's come in, obviously still unbeaten. Brentford, they did have their chances. Ivan Toney had a good chance near the end of the game, and also he cleared it off the line. So he had a good performance. From what I saw, he was probably their best player. But yeah, I do feel they got away with one at the same time, especially that penalty. But yeah, other than that, there's not really too much to say about this game, really. So yeah, and Hanno, mate, anything you would like to add?
First of all, Ivan Toney, you should have scored. That's one chance. Ball came, I think.
Is it where he hit it and it went over the bar? Is that one that I'm thinking? Yeah, that one, yeah.
Yeah, flat over the ball. That one, for me, should have scored. Of course, Bournemouth's first penalty shout should have been a penalty. Then they had a second one, which wasn't a penalty because the Bournemouth player pushed him into the Brentford player, and then he fell over in front of the guy who was about to shoot. So it wasn't a penalty. But right, last move of the game, corner. Was it handball from the Brentford player? I he 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 missed it. He must clear the ball and it hit his hand. Should have been a penalty to Bournemouth at the end. Maybe even 2 penalties, but yeah. Steve, I like him, but it's like with Kai Havertz and Mount. Some shots they'd say they should score, and for me, I think he should score that one. If he doesn't score that, he should have scored at least one where he just like fell over. The wind just pushed him over and he fell over. That one. Then he should have at least connected with the ball then. But yeah. Yeah, that's my thoughts. What I thought this was going to be. What did I say? I said 2-0 Brentford. I thought Brentford would going to perform a bit more, but again they didn't. So yeah.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Stephen says, told you a 0-0. Anything but dull, had it all. I think it was all right for a 0-0 game. Like there was a lot of, like I said, Brentford cleared off the line. Obviously, the penalty was the first one. I don't know if I saw the second one. So that's why I didn't comment on it. But yeah, I just don't know how Bournemouth. I just don't know how that weren't a penalty. It's not necessarily their performance because I thought it was pretty good. Yet again, it was just I just don't understand how that first one was never a penalty. Chris says Gary O'Neill impact. That's his name. Continues. Should have won. At the moment, he deserves the job, but if he gets the job permanently, I bet you dollars for McFlurry players will drop their performances. No, I agree. Probably be like a similar situation. Obviously, I'm not comparing the clubs, but similar situations. Ollie at Man United. That's what I reckon it'll probably turn out like. Obviously, Bournemouth, relegation. Well, fighting for that. I reckon. Big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Hope you're well. So yeah, we're moving on to the next game, which is obviously the 5:30 game on the Saturday. West Ham beat Wolves 2-0. I said 1-0 for this game. Very close on my prediction. 1-0 to West Ham, of course. And Wolves did have their chances, but again, they provide, they just can't put the ball in the back of the net. Scamacca, he had a few chances, then obviously scored that beautiful goal. That was another really good goal this weekend. And I did feel, like I said, with the chances he was having before, he was eventually going to score at some point. He's a quality signing that West Ham have done. Obviously, the problem with Antonio is he tends to get injured quite a lot as well. So it's good they brought in that option as well. And yeah, good performance from him. Obviously, West Ham took the lead. Obviously, Wolves had to bring on Traore in the first half. He had a good chance as well, but that was in the second half. Put it wide. he knows he should have done better from that, that position. Obviously, in the second half, Jared Bowen brought the ball down pretty nicely and a good finish by him. We know he's got that in him as well. Obviously, that put West Ham 2-0 up. And then the other chance really was when Costa come on. Now, I do expect, as the season goes, later on, I do expect him when he's in the box like that to be scoring goals instead of, not scoring this one. But like I said, Wolves did have their chances, but yeah, just not good enough. And obviously the manager got sacked, which I weren't surprised about. I said this is where I reckon they'll drop off this season, not get relegated or anything, but where they start falling down the table. And the way what he done in the transfer market, yeah, he brought in Mateus Nunes, very good signing and that, and he's shown in games that he's a really top, he's a top player. But just stuff like Cody, getting rid of him, club captain, and just they haven't been too great defensively. And like I said, they're just lacking that goal scoring up front at the moment. Like I said, as the season goes on, I expect Costa to start, putting them in the back of the net. But as of right now, it's just not good enough. The style he tried to play, I just don't think it's really how Wolves should be playing. So for me, it was the right decision. But yeah, Hanno, talk to me about your thoughts on this game.
Again, West Ham and Wolves. West Ham coming back from the international break, got to win. Probably now this is the turnaround for them. But why now? Why when I predict you guys are going to draw you guys side to score 2 goals? And again, Wolves, of course, not scoring again. Defense is leaking. Bruno Mars is sacked. And now it continues. Wolves, going to be interesting to see who they get in before they face us this weekend. I read somewhere they going to get like under 18 some reserve team coaches, or I don't know. I read somewhere they're going to have some coaches I don't even know about, but feel sorry for Bruno Mars. I liked him, did well at Wolves, but yeah, shame it's at the end. But yeah, losing 2-0 to West Ham, who are currently in a relegation position. It's not a good look. It's definitely not a good look. But yeah, right decision at the end, like Chris says. And you see, we'll start season 1-1 and relegation zone. And he says, are they? I don't know, but yeah, they haven't been the best. Making goals left, right, and center. So yeah. What's it?
Fair enough, mate. Let's see what people got to say. Stephen says West Ham deserved to win. Yeah, Wolves huffed and puffed, and Irons wouldn't fall down. Cost a bit rusty, but it was scored. No, absolutely. Like I said, as it goes on later in the season, and he's in them sort of positions, I expect him to be scoring. West Ham. No, that's the same comment twice. Chris says, with greatest respect in the world, West Ham couldn't ask for better teams to play than Wolves. West Ham should kick on now. No, I agree. Chris says, right decision to sack the manager. You've seen Wolves start to the season 1 win in relegation zone, I think. I think they're in there now, or they're near it. They're very near it. Might be one place above. I can't actually remember as it stands, but we'll look near the end. I've said it before. Second season syndrome for likes of large, etc. Yep, you have said that before. Do a Luton career mode. Do a Luton career mode, because why the hell not? Wolves are small squad too, and no one off the bench. Yeah, exactly. You've mentioned that before. No, absolutely. Moving on to the next game, which is obviously the Manchester derby. Again, I've done a watch along to this game. what a crazy game. My score prediction, I did go goals galore as well. I did say 3-2 Man City. I knew both defences could be gotten at, despite it being Man City. United, they have got the players to hurt them there, but City just quality once again. Really, it's ridiculous how 2 players got a hat trick in one game. You shouldn't really be shocked with Haaland getting a hat trick because how good he's been. How good his stats been.
Just kidding.
What's that?
No, sorry. I was just looking at some news, but then I saw that he on this game.
Oh yeah, we're on this game, and then obviously Foden got a hat trick as well. 4-0 in the first half. It's absolutely ridiculous. Obviously it was just mental. Anthony got a goal back for United, good finish, but other than that, he was poor. One of the many United players, and then Haaland scored again. And then he set up Foden for his hat trick. And Martial, when he come on, Wolf was saying about starting him. To be fair, I think after that, he deserves to start in the next game. Come on and obviously City, the second goal, pretty poor defensively, but they knew the game was done. But took the penalty well as well. But yeah, it was just one way traffic. Man City. This is why they're gonna win the league. When they turn it on, they're just Holland. Like I said, won the league without an out and out, striker. Now they're bringing in Haaland. Like I said, they've got Alvarez as another option as well. Defensively, they've improved. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. I'm actually scared to know how many goals he's going to end up getting at the end of the season, because you've got to think as well. He's not even going to the World Cup. He's going to be chilling for that whole month. I don't want to know, honestly. But Hanno, talk to me about this game, mate.
United fans that are hiding from Racestocks football. United fans still hiding. Still haven't came out of the hole. They're just calling out the players. They're not actually taking man because they say United are going to win. That it's just like, why can't I back my team in a derby? Well, you can, but at least be realistic. Like some people said, Holland is going to score a hat-trick. No, he isn't. No chance. No, maybe. United fans, they need to hold their own. Eric Ten Hag, I said it to you, a United fan. He's showing his air gate. Again, but yeah, well done, City. I have to take down. I said Haaland will get under 10 goals. He's already past that, almost at 15. What? No. Yeah, 14. He's down 14 goals already. 3 in the Champions League, 14 in the Prem, 17 goals total combined so far this season, and we're only 8 games into the season. Chapley, well done. Come on. But yeah, well, what side's races? Yeah, this is going to be a long one. This is going to be a long season. But yeah, Rashford out with someone else as well. Now, to be honest, I think Eric Ten Hag got it wrong, because if you look, why aren't you playing Casemiro? I get McTominay has been good.
No sense.
We get McTominay has been good, but this is City. It's a whole different level.
Exactly.
I don't know if it was right. No. This is going to. I don't know if it was like United fans, maybe like going in confident. Maybe it was like that, and but yeah, I don't know. That's maybe one of the reasons, and his tactics. I don't know what he tried, because I said on my watch long. Of course, I didn't say on long, but yeah, um, as we had connection issues, but yeah, um, again, uh, he, he, it's just the tactics they set back. Like, there was no press. If they did what Newcastle or Villa did to City, they maybe would have gotten something out of the game. This is where I have to agree with Wolf. Maybe not in the sense of 10 out, but he got the tactics wrong and the lineup. It's City, you have to play a deep line midfielder. McTominay has been good, but you can keep him there. Have McTominay and Casemiro there to protect that back line. Um, but I think, but they have to look at their players again, because you look, some of those players, they didn't perform in big games. You look, Rashford again not turning up, and etc. So yeah, Chris's comments about Toro Chinning. Uh, but yeah, he said that in all competitions. I just said less than 10 goals in the Prep. So he said 15, no more than 15 goals in all competitions. So he has to take the L on that. I can take the L on just in Premier League. But each one is more crazy. But yeah, Hull City won versus Liverpool. Coming up 2 weeks. Will they win at Anfield potentially? Um, and yeah, um, will Arsenal beat Liverpool? That's again another derby. Next week, or not derby, big game.
Excuse me.
But yeah,
No,
we will see.
absolutely. I'm gonna obviously wait until what I see, even though obviously I don't know who Arsenal are playing in the Europa, but I'll see how both teams do midweek, what teams both sides played, and then yeah, I'll tell you more right then. But all I will say is I can't see Liverpool winning the game. That's all I'm going to say on that so far. But we'll go through some comments. Stephen says KDB, Foden, Haaland, and even Grealish is scary. Facts. Haaland clearly has a magnet on his body. Whenever ball goes to him, back in the net straight away. Facts. The first double hat-trick in the Premier League in one match between Foden and Haaland. Yeah, it's ridiculous, mate. It's absolutely ridiculous. Big up Spencer. He says, hey, T, Hanno, Chris,
Yeah, thanks.
and everyone else. Big up yourself, mate. Also, I just want to go, before I go into more comments, I want to talk about when Hanno said about, the tactics. I didn't agree with him as a neutral either. I was saying potentially even going with Ronaldo with this game. Now I know he hasn't been on form, but you got to think, this is a big game. He would be up for this game, starting it, and yeah, it just didn't really make sense. And I think the other players that were on the sides, Anthony and I can't remember who it was. It Sancho? Yeah, it's Sancho, wasn't it? I think they'd have done a lot better if Ronaldo was there, especially in a game like this, or even Martial. And like you said, the obvious one, which everyone will agree with, is Casemiro. I don't understand why he didn't start that game, But there we go. Not looking forward to playing City in a few weeks. Haaland's probably going to tear us apart. Yeah, probably, especially with how we've been defensively. City will finally win at Anfield in front of the crowd. Massive, likely. I can't even speak word. Likeliness. That's the word I tried saying. Exactly. No, exactly. God, I remember watching that game. Oh my God. Jesus. I haven't predicted Liverpool to lose in a while, but I will in Liverpool's next 2 league games. Fair enough, mate. Big up yourself, Wolf. Big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself. But yeah, we'll move on now to the next game, which was the second 0-0 game of the weekend. Yeah, like Hanno does there. That is literally what this game was. I literally, because my Virgin Media was not playing up, was playing up, as you lot would know. I was like, yeah, I'm going to stay in my mum's room, watch this game. I said 1-0 leads. I knew it wouldn't be goals galore. Just weren't convinced with Villa, and rightly so. Looking at this game, they had a few chances, but obviously didn't put any in the back of the net. Even though their last two games, they're unbeaten. City, they should have won that game. Obviously, that decision was a joke. But then the Southampton game, even though they won, it just weren't too convincing for me. And Leeds, they're not doing too bad at home this season, so I thought they would edge it. But yeah, this was a shocking game, absolutely shocking game. I don't even want to talk about it for that long. Like, no disrespect to the two teams, but it just wasn't great. And yeah, it was one of them. Hanno, is there anything else you want to add to this?
I'm never ever going to predict Leeds United to ever win again. So I was like, it's at Ellen Road. They go back from the international break. It should be good. I predicted 3-0 Leeds. I was like, nah, this walk in the park for Leeds. And I can't even score one goal. No, come on. Yeah. Surely you have to do better for a Premier League team. Like, I know they probably cancelled each other out, but come on, really? Against Villa, you have to do better. Even for Villa against Leeds, you have to do better. But yeah, and yeah, that's just all I have to say. That's what else to say. But yeah, a very poor dull. No, as Steve says there. But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to the fun game.
Yeah, exactly. Very bored, dull, 0-0. Wolf literally puts, the Z's. Facts, mate. Leeds keeping clean sheet, that's unheard of. That's like Eubank Jr. actually fighting for a title shot. Never happens. God's sake. It wasn't a great advert. And the annoying thing is, it's the 4:30 game as well. They usually tend to be all right. And this one was absolutely shocking. But there we go. And in the last game, like Hanno said, let's move on to it. A big derby, underrated derby in my opinion. You could tell if you actually watched the game, how heated it is between the two fans. And that was obviously the Midlands derby, or one of the Midlands derbies anyway. Leicester versus Forest. Always tends to be goals in this game. Obviously, the game, when they played each other last year was 4-2 in the FA Cup to Nottingham Forest. And I knew it was going to be goals in this game. Just didn't expect it to be as one-sided as it was. Obviously, I said 2-2 for the game. Both teams obviously conceded a lot of goals already in the Premier League this season. And brilliant. Well, it was a bit of both. It was a really good performance by Leicester, the way they're passing the ball around. It looked like how they've looked in previous seasons. But at the same time, Nottingham Forest, this is what happens when you get, as many players as you did in, they just feel like strangers to each other and they've still got a lot to learn in this game. But yeah, I watched, all of this game pretty much. I enjoyed watching it, just chilling out, watching it, you know what I mean? At least it weren't a snooze fest, you know what I mean? And obviously, Forest had the first big opportunity of the game, obviously hitting a post. I thought it was in for a second. And, it'd have been a completely different game if that was the case. But obviously didn't go in. Drewsbury Hall and James Justin, not even being biased, they were both brilliant. When I keep seeing them in games in recent weeks, especially Tottenham, in the first half anyway, obviously second half, we all know what happened. But they were getting fouled left, right and centre. It's the same in this game as well. I feel unfortunate, obviously, for James Justin, big up him, but I feel unfortunate with the sense where he got that injury for England. Obviously, it was only Nations League, but, they actually let him start in that game. And if he didn't get that injury, I'd probably say he would have been in this squad as well, just now. I don't think he'll quite make it for the World Cup, but I feel he does deserve to have a conversation for it. That's what I will say. He's another player that can play left back and right back. Can even drop into centre back. Very, very good player. But people probably say I'm saying that biased. But if you actually look at his performances, you know where I'm coming from. Obviously, Maddison got the first goal. What performance from him? Yet again, for Leicester. The only iffy performance I've seen from him is obviously the one I always mention, Brighton this season. But, since then he's been really good. Obviously a deflected goal, but, he took on the shot and obviously it was the right decision in the end. And then Harvey Barnes, literally 2 minutes later, very good goal, from him as well. He can turn up and score really good goals like that as well. Dean Henderson had no chance. What a goal that was. And then obviously the free kick. What a goal that was. What a goal that was. When that went in, I was just like, laughing because it was just mental, how every goal they scored was a good goal. Even though the first one took a deflection, it's still good to take on that shot. And obviously they're 3-0 up, in the first half. And obviously going into the second half, Forest had a few chances, but not enough to get a goal, of course. And then obviously near the end of the game, with about approaching the 15-minute left mark, pretty much. Obviously Daka got a goal, a very good flick, by him, and he's been good for Leicester this year. He's for the attack, I would say he's been good. It's just sometimes their midfield and obviously their defence has been an absolute calamity at the back. Even though I still don't rate Ward, I do think he had a decent game for Leicester, made some decent saves when he had to. But yeah, this is what happens when you sign as many players as you do for Forest, and just feel like strangers on the pitch. Especially the manner they kept giving the ball away at times, it was absolutely shocking. But very good win for Leicester. Can this be a turning point for them? They have got some fixtures in which I believe they could get results coming up. I believe they've got Villa soon, if I'm correct. And I can't remember who else, but they have got some games that I reckon they could win. Especially if Maddison and that carry on how they have been. But brilliant win for them. As for Forest, a lot of people said they'd go finish mid-table or round about mid-table like myself. Obviously, it still is a while away, but yeah, looking at how things are going now, I think they'll be more in a relegation battle. Especially, their games before that, losing to the newly promoted sides at home, both 3-2 as well, both losing in a poor manner. Yeah, I think they'll be fighting relegation. Especially the signings are running too many as well. But Hanno, talk to me about how you felt about this game and your thoughts.
Again, Forest, like you said early on in the game, had to score that goal, hit the post, and then for Leicester, again, what a goal by Maddison, what a goal by Maddison, and then the second goal was Barnes, and then again Maddison with another great goal. Really great performance from Leicester. For us again in the second half, they had some good opportunities. Watching the highlights, they had like 4 opportunities. Most likely should have put in at least one away. And made it at least 4-1, but yeah, Leicester again. That's what is it? Iniacho goal, I believe.
Daka.
Oh yeah, that's in Daka goal. What a goal! Great goal for him. And yeah, Forest again, like you said, signing loads of players, like 22, 18 players. Yes, and yeah, they're just like strangers, but. I think next season, if they can stay up, which hopefully they do, because I would love to see what they do if they are, of course, now that the whole new team is basically back and knows each other. So I hope they stay in Prem for us, so we can see what their team actually brings to each other, because they had to sign more players because most of them were loan, and yeah, but Questions around Steve Cooper as manager. Can he take him in and further, and can he let them stay in the Prem? But yeah, well done, Leicester. They got Bournemouth away.
That's
That's a
the
tough
fixture.
game.
Ooh,
That's
yeah,
a
that'll be
tough game
interesting.
away. Can they continue on this run? Once again, Harvey Barnes, he definitely plays to watch out for. But yeah, um, that's all I have to say. Well done, Leicester. Unlucky for Steve Cooper. You and Klopp are both on fraud watch.
Fair enough. No, fair enough, mate. Let's go through some comments. Madison masterclass, no, absolutely. It has to be on a plane. If it carries on like this, 100%. Yeah, facts. Most England fans, Madison has to be in the England squad. Calls up Maguire instead. Something written in the contract with that guy, like I always say. If we don't get Bellingham, which we won't, you don't think we will? Interesting. We should go all out for Madison. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Thanks for coming, Forrest. literally. Here we go. Of course, the happy clappers will be bouncing on Bouncy Castle if we beat Rangers tonight, saying we're back, lads. Beating a pub team, yes, lads. Yeah, obviously, I went with a very emphatic Liverpool win, despite how we've been. I just don't rate Rangers in they're not a Champions League team, and I just think they're going to get reality check. To be honest with you, the only way they beat Liverpool is obviously if Liverpool defend like calamity at the back, and also you got to remember this is Liverpool in Champions League. They tend to do well in this. Do you know what I mean? Hence why we've won it as many times as we have. Look at the Ajax game, for example. The fight back in that game. But yeah, all these people start jumping on this thing like, relax yourself. But yeah, the only way they beat us is, I would say, their fans just being a lot louder than ours and just motivating them even more. Because I don't think there's any other way, unless we start scoring own goals or something, which wouldn't be surprised the way we're defending. Steve Cooper could be sacked, even though it's harsh, but signing that amount of players and owner is ambitious. Yeah. Massive win for Leicester and Rodgers, not 100%. Leicester go away. Yep, that'll be an interesting one, like I said. Forest aim is still the aim, which is to stay up. Yep, 100%. Oh my God, Chris, I just saw that other comment. I said Liverpool 5-3 Rangers. Both teams are shocking defensively, like Hippo been stung by bees. Facts. Yeah, they're poor defensively as well. Yeah, at the moment, 100%. I said 4-1, so sort of similar in that aspect.
Funnily enough, when I made my predictions, I didn't even look at yours. I also said 4-1.
Yeah.
And for the City game, I also said 6-0 City.
Yeah, I've said some mad games in Champions League, but you know what these cities, you know what they're like. I'm not even trying to disrespect Copenhagen, but this is Man City. Do you know what I mean? This is Man City at the end of the day, away as well. And Bayern Munich, who they're playing that.
Victoria.
I can't remember who they're playing, but I said 6-1. You know what Bayern can do at home? Sometimes they just love to have these games where they score like a mad amount of goals. So yeah, I'm just going with that unexpected. Who's really going to say that? Maybe Man City, people might say scores like that, but Bayern, sometimes they just do it, and I just think they will here as well. But yeah, people, there you go. That is all the games predicted. Obviously, we'll do a few other bits before we wrap up. We'll start off with doing goal of the week. Now, like I said, the few ones that are up there, definitely Almiron's goal. Say Skamaka's goals up there as well. I'd probably say both of Chelsea's goals, Maddison's goals as well. Especially that free kick. Even Barnes, so there's a lot of goals up there. But don't know if I'm forgetting any other really good goals, but I think they're the standout ones anyway. You've got an idea of what one you're going to go with?
I want to say Harvey Barnes and Madison and Denver, but I have to go Almiron because he hits it on the volley line. and it was coming over his shoulder, so he didn't know. So perfect timing. And then
Anthony's as well. Big up Stephen in the chat. Anthony's goal was very good as well.
Yeah, that was good. But just for me that it was on the volley and he did perfectly. If he missed it by some players, it's it a bit lower and the keeper just saves it because he did so clean and in the top corner. I have to go on.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'm going to agree with you. Also, like I said earlier, he didn't even expect to score that. Partey's goal against Spurs as well. Flipping hell, when you actually think about it, there's a lot of really good goals this weekend. But yeah, I'm going to go Almiron still. I just, like you said, the way he hit it, he didn't even expect it himself. And it weren't like it was lucky, it took a deflection or anything like that. So yeah, I'm going to say is, obviously, if we're talking championship, I see Stephen in the comments, but Lansbury started off the awesome goals this weekend. Yeah, obviously, if we're talking championship, there definitely is. What a goal that was. When you got Gerrard, commenting, it's a good goal. You know what that guy used to do. But yeah, there's that. I'm going to go through some other comments quickly before we go on to the next bit and then look at the table as we wrap up. Both defences have been bad, so what should be something like a 2-1? Yeah, that's fair enough. I understand why you say that. Only thing I'm looking forward to this week is Eubank Jr. versus Ben final press conference on Thursday at 1 p.m. and then the fight on Saturday should be fireworks. Yep, I'll definitely be looking at everything, building up to that fight and that fight. It's like you say, it'll be a very good one. And of course, you'll go into it, mate. Maddison's free kick or Anthony's for United. Fair enough, mate. Big up yourself for reminding me about that Anthony's one. Party goal versus Spurs yet again. I said that was a good one. And obviously, Lansbury started it off. And then the next thing we'll do, last thing, obviously, before we do table, clown of the week. Now, so a few contentions up there already. Liverpool's whole defence is definitely one of them. Jurgen Klopp for his decisions. I would say he's up there. Referee in the Bournemouth game, even though I don't even know who the flipping hell it was. Who did you say, sorry?
Conte,
Nottingham Forest, the whole team. There's a lot of options. Is there anywhere else I'm forgetting? United. Well, I wouldn't actually necessarily say United, to be fair. I'd more say flipping Ten Hag. The player, who was it again? I can't remember who it was, but yeah, he's up there. Chalobah, that's it. Chalobah, yeah. Who would you go with? While I try and figure out who I'm going to go with.
Jeez,
a lot of options again here, isn't there?
I want to say Ten Hag, but I have to go with the referee and VAR in the Bournemouth thing.
I'm going to agree. I'm actually going to agree. I was thinking Ten Hag as well. Lucky I didn't say that flipping Liverpool defence. Honestly, and Klopp. But yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to agree with you because, like I said, the thing that made it even worse about that Bournemouth game is they went to the screen.
Yeah.
That was what is even worse. Like you said, you mentioned the second penalty. I don't think I saw that. So I only saw the highlights. So I don't think I can. I don't know if they showed it on there. I don't know. I can't remember.
If you watch the extended highlights, it shows.
Oh, right. I just watch the normal ones on Sky Sports. And they upload it. And then obviously the Arsenal one. I watched the BT ones. So yeah, that was that. And big up Chris. He says, I'm off to work now, lads. Take care. Big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself. Being in from the start again. What I'm going to do just before we wrap up is obviously look at the table as it stands. So let me just get that up real quick. I don't know why they're comparing Rooney and Shrek. I don't know what's going on here with this flipping thing, but there we go. I know people used to call him that, but geez. Okay then. But yeah, obviously this is a table as it stands. Obviously Arsenal still top of the league by a point. Man City in second. Obviously, Tottenham still are third. Brighton still in the top 4. You know, big up to them. You know, Chelsea fifth. Like Hanno said, you know, not too convincing by them, but they're still grinding out the results.
And how
Like
many
most of the
points
time.
are Chelsea? 13.
Chelsea on 13 points. Yeah, 13 points, mate.
Okay. That's.
And then
Nice.
United 6th. Newcastle 7th. So they've went above Fulham. 8th. Liverpool 9th. Flipping heck. Lucky we're not 10th. Do you know what I mean? Double figures. Honestly.
Yeah.
Brentford 10th. Everton 11th. Everton are starting to get up there. Leeds 12th. Bournemouth 13th. Aston Villa 14th. Obviously West Ham. Still close at the bottom, but they obviously went higher up in the table. Southampton 16th. Palace just above relegation zone. And then obviously the 3 in there are all Midlands clubs, Wolves, Leicester and Forest. Now Forest are rock bottom, obviously of a worse goal difference, -15. That is mental. So yeah, that's what the table's like as it stands. Going into which will be game week 10, which will obviously be on the weekend. First game is obviously the 3:00 games. It's Newcastle versus someone. Can't remember who it is. But obviously, we'll be doing predictions nearer the time. Hanno, mate, big up yourself. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, on YouTube, Coach's Corner. On Instagram, Hanno_coach_corner. And Twitter, Hanno_coach. Twitter, sorry. Hanno_coach corner. Instagram is Hanno_coach_corner. Yeah. Yeah. Come on, Luton. Come on, Chelsea. Yeah. Come on, Birmingham.
There you go. I'll put Hanno's channel in the description, like always. Like I say, it never lets me put his name in the title. I don't understand why. It just doesn't work for some reason. It just says retry. God knows why. And I didn't even mean to make that rhyme. But yeah, there's that. I'm going to go through last lot comments. Brighton very deserved, 100%. Neverton playing United at Goodison this week, I believe. Yeah, it's I think it's after the Liverpool-Arsenal game, or Arsenal-Liverpool, whatever you want to call it. Luton on red button tonight, unless you were there. Your boy is there. Your boy is back again. Yeah, Huddersfield. I'll be meeting no Huddersfield fans, though. Because my mates aren't going now, that are Huddersfield fans. Because the mud they're in, they don't want to go. But like I said, I'm not feeling confident for the game, despite them not actually winning away. You see, I don't know. It's just I know what they're going to do, and I've seen it a lot. Even though we're in good form, I've just seen it at times where we can't deal with teams that do what they do at Kenilworth Road, and I just don't know if it's going to be like that. But if we do win, I reckon it'll be like a 2-1. But I've gone with a 1-1. But there will be a vlog, of course, and I'll try and get that out tonight. But if not, it'll probably be out at like midnight or something like the other one. Take care, T, Hanno, Chris, Stephen, and everyone. Big up yourself, Spencer, mate.
Yeah.
And Stephen says it later, Spence. Big shout, I look out for you. Yeah, man, if you see me and if you want to come on the vlog, then feel free. Because I don't think anyone's going to be on it now because British Chap's not even going to it. Alex might be on it. He might say Morris to score a double again, and he does. That was crazy when he actually predicted that last time and that happened. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be leaving just under an hour now to get the bus there. It just takes about an hour. And then, hopefully by the time I get there, lineup should come out and then, chilling. But, big up yourself, Hanno, mate. Big up everyone in the chat as well. Don't forget to smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. So far, we've got 14 likes, so big up yourselves. I know a lot of people watch on playback, so big up yourselves as well. And, that is all that. Don't forget to subscribe as well to the channel, of course, if you haven't already. And like I said, I'll be back again later with a vlog. Share the channel as well. And if you want to follow me across any of my socials, obviously links to them are in the description. Like I said, Hanno's link to his channel is in the description as well, of course, like always. And like I said, I'll see you lot later for the vlog. Don't think there'll be anything out tomorrow. because also my StreamYard runs out and I can't even pay for it yet. It always runs out on the 5th. So I have to pay for it when I next get paid, which is obviously Friday. So yeah, I've got to do that. And then, for the weekend, I'm not sure yet, but I'll let you lot know. Obviously, there'll be a video out on Friday, Premier League stream and Hatter show. So yeah, that's what I know will definitely be out then. But until next time, guys, big up yourselves, stay safe, take care, peace.
Peace.